and I am the CEO of Finnest. You remember the old BMW claim, the ultimate driving machine? Well, we are the ultimate corporate financing machine. German engineering plus Austrian brains, that's an unbeatable combination. To tell you what the problem is that we very successfully solved, I will perform a 30-second drama here on stage. I roll up my sleeves because now I'm the entrepreneur of a 100 million company, has been around for 3 decades, is profitably growing and has been EBITDA positive for the last 8, 10, 12 years. I go to my bank and say, guys, my business is doing really, really well. I need a loan because we want to, I don't know, establish new points of sales, expand to another country, build a new production line, whatever it is. Now I'm the banker and I roll my sleeves back down because I'm not working that much. And I say, well, listen, it's a little bit difficult. There is Basel III, there's solvency. We need some collateral. I need to talk to department A, B, C before I can do that. That will take some time. That's the problem. And that problem is true for basically every well-established Mittelstand, as we call it in German, medium-sized company across Europe. There is a problem for them getting loans, even though they are top-performing, top-rated, growing and profitable, because the banks, after the 2008 financial crisis, do not want and sometimes cannot invest into the heart of these economies anymore. We built the platform to finance these companies. This is a real-life example. Biogena is a very well-known brand name in Austria and in Germany, a nutrition producer, market leader in their field. On our one platform, Finnest.com, we financed 2 million via crowd investing, traditional crowd investing. That meant investors gave 7,000 euros on average. That's the single ticket on Finnest.com. It's very high to the company. And in return, they got vouchers, product vouchers as annual interest rates. They are tied to the company now for 5 years. They're getting vouchers worth 500, 600, 700 euros, whatever they invested, to buy these products. And they will buy these products now for the next 5 years and not buy a competitor's product. The real financing for Biogena, who built a logistics center at about 9 million cost, comes through our second platform, FinnestPro.com, where institutional investors actually provide them with promissory notes, which is kind of a bond tool and actually replaces the existing bank loans that company had. So we can finance the entire 9 million that the company needed here with the loyalty part, and the actual big money tickets come via institutional investors. For Finnest, our sweet spot are transactions above 1 million and below 20 million. On the left side, below 1 million, these transactions are too small for us. It doesn't make sense. There's so many platforms that do crowdfunding for startups and for projects and whatever. We don't want to go into that market. On the upper hand, above 20 million, it starts to make sense for real banks to issue bonds, corporate bonds for those companies. To issue a bond is very costly, it's very complex, so it only makes sense if an issuer takes up 20, 25, 30 million plus. So in between those, in between 1 million and in between up to 20 million, that's our sweet spot where we can do transactions and financings for these top-rated companies. Joerg, that's nice. You have a good idea. You have a good market. How did you do? Well, we did very well. In the German-speaking areas, Finnest by now is the fastest growing platform in the ME financing sphere. We have been growing our GMV, that's the money that's transferred over the platform, 150% year over year. We have done 22 deals. That's not a lot, but these deals are a million on average, at least. We have 0% failure rate because we are only financing very, very good companies. The companies that actually the banks also want, but they come to us because they're not happy with the banks anymore. That failure rate will not go up in the next 2 to 3 years. And 1/3 of the existing issuers of the companies that have been financed via Finnest have come back and have done at least a second deal. So what's next? Next is pan-European expansion. Our markets are all economies in Europe that are driven by these Mittelstand, medium-sized, 50 million, 80 million annual revenue companies that are doing well. Often family companies, second generation, that want to do that. These markets here where you see the numbers, those are the markets that are driven by these companies. We are already active in 4 markets in the entire German-speaking area plus Slovakia. Next we'll go north and west and a little bit east. We will not go to the US because in the US this principle that we are doing has been around for many, many years. Their companies have access to the capital markets. They don't need Finnest, but in Europe, these companies do not have access to the capital markets, to the crowd for the small amounts and to the institutional investors for the big amounts. That's why we will expand in Europe. We are in a market with 560,000 companies already, and there's millions more in all these other countries. And my call to action, Series A, 3 million valuation to be discussed. Thank you.